All right, welcome back from the break. You know what we just did is that now you can sign in properly. I'm going to look at my README file and take this. User can sign up by providing their email, password, and name. I think all works fine. I git status, check, okay, I added a new file here. Diff and say, oh, okay, I added bcrypt and added new and create action. Look how simple that is, right? And we will display this message later, right? Notice account created, not yet. But I basically permit these fields and create a user. I validate, not perfect. You still, this is quite nice that you validate by email and uniqueness, but maybe you want to validate by email expression, right? Regular expression. There are tools as well you can search, but usually that's good enough. And I have a button to log in. I think I'm very happy. Do that. I say complete my first task, right? And then you put some emoji to it. Okay, so next is user can log in. Whoa. All right, what is logging in? How does the application know that you log in and stay there? With that, I need to explain to you what's called session, or actually cookies. You can read. I have some links here, but who here knows how a cookie works? Who here knows about cookie? Browser cookie? Okay. So, what is the cookie if you give it a try? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Very good. Yeah. Thank you. So basically, if I look at this website, it's localhost. If you go into, if you load this down here, you can actually check. Let me show the Rails. This one, right? You can actually check for cookies. Do you know how to check it? Resources. Right here. Right? So these are the cookies. You see, Snap session is just from another app that I did before called Snap, but for this guy, it's just this. So it's a table, right, with the name and value. Okay? This is small, only 4 kilobytes. You cannot store more than that. So don't store like pictures of hot girls in here. It will not work. But how exactly does it work? So when you visit the URL, the cookie actually starts from the browser. So let's look at the head of localhost 3000, right? See, when you load that, if you look at this, a lot of tools actually know that, oh, that's a Rails application, because based on the way that, the settings, convention. Now, look at this, set cookie, okay? So, when you visit a browser, it actually passes this back. And because of this, right, because of this network request, it actually saves the cookie locally in this. To prove to you that's true, I'm going to delete by, if you search for cookie, go to preferences of Chrome, click here, cookie, localhost, wait, local, not local, right? Localhost. In here, these guys, alright, remove, done. And now, this is supposed to be empty. Now this is a different client, right? This is the terminal client. It's not the same as my browser, so the cookie has to be different. But let's say if now I load this again, you see that it created a new one, right? And it's because in the same definition is passed by the browser. So first thing to know is that's how the browser keep track of what's going on. So this user now, okay, when you visit the website, the server give you a cookie. Big deal. What's next? How does the server know when you request something? Who can guess? The browser will send back the same cookie, right? Send back the cookie. So how do we check that? So maybe I do this. You know this is root, right? Users index. Actually, I can maybe log it. Rails logger info, and there's a way to get the cookie from the when the browser you post something. Again, there's a header and the body, right? And it actually pass this in there. Okay. So in this request object, there's just a lot of things. Referral, where it comes from, request, parameters, right? What browser is it? And all these other things. What's the IP address of the browser? Well, now, let's just print that. So let's look at the log carefully, okay? I go to anywhere. I go to home page actually. Home page, and you see that it's passing that cookie back to the browser. Okay? Great. So maybe that's how I can remember if I'm signed in. Now Rails use something called session. And if the user, you see, after you create this user, if you want to log the user in, you can say session user ID is user.id. That basically does something. It saves that state, right? But now the only common storage between the browser and the server is a cookie thing, so it will change the cookie. So if I go to new, create an account, it will change the cookie so that this cookie has a different value now. And when the browser send back to the server decrypt that. As there's a user ID in the session. Okay? Right? What if I do this, right? And I just do like, a big file.read, and then this is too much. You cannot store. You shouldn't even store. You saw that's the ID. You shouldn't store this whole object in it. That's the idea, right? Now this, in the past, people think, let's make it easy. Cookie should just be a string that makes sense. So it just looked like a plain text string. But then I can know your ID if I go in there and then maybe I can change what the browser send back to the server. So right now it's encrypted, right? But that's not good enough. When your application becomes better, you want to only store something called session ID in the cookie. When the browser sends to you, you say, oh, this session ID, let's go look what's in this session. You store that in your own database. You store that in a cache. Could be a Redis database, could be a PostgreSQL database, or a memcached. Store it somewhere else. It's safer, right? Because if you store it in the cookie, and someone know your secret key, can actually decrypt that cookie and get all your information. But most apps start out storing in the cookie because it's simple. Just don't reveal the secret key, okay? Don't reveal this. So this is a session store. Right now this is the cookie store. You see, you can actually tell it to store in the database. But don't reveal, I think, under this initializer, there must be something that, there's a secret set somewhere, right? Cookie serializer, and that's okay. Do you guys see it? Not sure if I see it. Used to be somewhere, but I think maybe secret there. So it's stored in that. And if someone knows this, it knows how to deserialize the cookies and then get some information, right? If you store the cookie in the session in the database, even if they do this, they only know how to get they only know the session ID, but they still cannot access your database. So that's one layer more secure. Okay, so if that one doesn't make sense, that's okay. Right? You can ask again. Okay, now I know how to store the fact that the user is in the session. Let's see. Cool. So after I create the user, I store that session ID there. How do I know if the user is currently logged in or not? I go to application. This is the controller that all the controller inherit from. It's like it's a parent class, right? So let's say def current user. Who knows how to get the current user? Current user is like I'm signed in, right? If session user ID, then you do what? You just say find session user ID. But if in this request, you use current user variable a lot. You don't want to hit the database every time. So you store this to, like as usual, you store this to a variable. Yeah? This instance variable live in one web cycle when the server is about to render the page. But then you check current user, check to print out the username, print out. So you want this variable, this method to be robust. So I got this value, so I can say return current user if current user. Makes sense, right? If there's a value, just don't look it up. I know you are logged in, okay? Oh, so technically after I create an account, I can sign in. How do I do that? In layout, application now, do you see this created account? You should only show this link if. So if current user, then you don't show this, right? If current user, then you do something else. You actually want to show what? Sign in, right? Or what? Okay. Create an account. If log out. Okay, so let's say log out. So link to log out. You can even say log out my current user.email. And then what is this path? So maybe for now I call it logout path. Okay? How do I make sure it's not crash? Go to the route and define logout path. But maybe you want it to be a delete logout, right? Yeah? But I need to go somewhere here. Okay, so you want to destroy the session. So we'll create this sessions controller and then we'll destroy it. That's how we log out. Okay? But down here, to make this link work, you have to say method delete. Okay, that's a lot to take in. So I'll stop a little bit. If you have a question. If the user is signed in, I show the logout link. Yeah? If it's not, show the create account link. Sounds good? Now when you run now, what happens? It doesn't know what current user is. So if you put this method in helper, who knows what a helper is? All these methods in helper, you can use in the view, right? But if you put this current user here, you can do the same thing. You see, this can be the same, but then your code is, you're duplicating the code. So how to make sure this method go there? You just say this current user also, I give my helper for free. Make this current user also a helper method. Okay? With all of that, now if I go here, okay, delete, log out, what happens? My route is wrong. So why didn't anyone help me? What happened? You'd have to do this, right? Okay, let's see it. Create account for real. Who wants to be the person to be created? Ming, right? Ming, maybe Alex at Hwk2.vn.
They log out.
What happened?
Log out.
I don't have my current user. Why? Uh-oh. This is I have this terminal down here. I checked the last person. That's good. He is already created. You guys can see that, right? But this current user right now is nil. Maybe I look at my current user. Maybe I can check my session too. User ID. Oh, it's 6. So it must be my current user method. Check this guy. Ah. Why? Session user ID. When he log in. Huh? Oh my God. That's why Ruby is dangerous. This is so sad. Well, let's say now if I refresh this, bam, log out this. Perfect. It looks a bit off, so let's fix the JavaScript, the HTML. Why? Because I forgot to add a class navlink. Man, this is cool. I have this logout, login, but it only work for new users, right? And also logout doesn't work. So let's implement logout and sign in. So how do we do that? Rails generate controller. Yeah, so again, this is a convention. Sessions here, there's no resource, okay, but we pretend it's a resource. So sessions, ready? So maybe I have a session new, yeah? It's the name of the controller, and this is new. And create, destroy, they don't have view, so I don't want to create any view for it, okay? Alright, so this is extra, I don't need, but this new is good, and this session thing is fine. Okay, let's implement it right now. Let's check the route. I don't need this, but I can pretend this is like a resources session, but I only need it for new and create. Sounds fine, right? Go to session, controller, dev create. Okay, new and create. That's cool. But now I have the routes. I can write my layout here, and actually this let's log out. It's easy. Go back to session. Let's implement logout. Who can implement that? Session user ID is nil. Very simple. Redirect to root path. Maybe you can say notice logged out. Yeah? Okay, let's go to application. Now, if the user is not logged in, now you have another option. What is it? Huh? Log in, right? So link to log in. Where do you go? New session path. Nice. Nav link. Okay. And maybe log out, destroy. Is that it? Yeah. So maybe if I refresh this, if I log out, I need this new session path. Why is it not supported? Sessions only new create. So to check Rails routes, new session. Uh-oh. Why is there an S here? That's weird. Oh, resource. See, this is bad. Like another Ruby. Don't ever use resource. It's just, most of the time it's not worth it. So great. Let's refresh this. Now you see login now. Let's implement this login, right? It's already generated for us. And here's where we learn form for. Let's say here I call login, and very fast form. Okay, you need to display that, right? So form for form tag. Because what do you need to submit? Text field tag, email, and then the second one is what? Password. But this is not text field. This is password field. And maybe then now you just have submit tag. Can you go home and make it pretty for me? So maybe this is called login. Okay. Great. It looks like that. So, Ming, what is your Alex?
Go to school.
Go to school.vn. What's the password? Only I know? Okay, never mind. Right, so session. Now, here's the cool part, right? See, new is simple. You don't have to do anything. What's in here? Let's raise it. Login, right? Oh, it's going to the wrong place. Why? Form tag, you have to tell it where to go. Where should it go? Sessions path. Because this is going to the create. Remember? So actually I have to go and enter that again. So Alex, it goes there. See, raise. But now you see I have params email and params password. Let's try that. This is where has user password help again, has secure password. This one check a lot of, it gives you the authenticate method. So it gives you the authenticate method, you know. So here, okay, let's try. If user equal user find, what do you want to find by? Email, right? Else, what do you want to display? Redirect to new session path. Notice what? And user not found, right? Email not found. Okay. But what if you find the user? You need to check the password, right? If user dot authenticate, that's the method given by has secure user, params password. If that, then you go to what do you do? Equals to what? Else, similar to this guy, but then this is not email, but it's password is wrong, right? But I need now finally I need to display these flash messages. I keep promising you guys. So let's do that right here. Before container, after nav, if flash. Okay, so there's an empty, right? So you can do empty, but unless it's empty, what do? It's a key, it's a hash. So let's just make it flash.each.do key value. Normally, if it's a success, key can be like alert, danger, success. You do it later, but for now, we just use alert for everything, yeah? Alert, info maybe. Okay. Wait, warning. Okay, and then just put this value. It means every time. Okay, so let's try to create the user now, right? Huh? Where? Alert? Oh, I think my computer is too old. I need a new computer. All right, so let's resubmit this form. Ready? Resubmit. Wait, what happened? Oh, did I save this file? Resubmit? No. Sessions controller. Are you sure? That's sad. Okay, let's submit from here. Okay, that's not fun. Hey, okay, so actually he just logged out in. So let's say try again, Alex. Now, wrong password. Password is wrong. Wrong email. Email not found. I think we've just finished, right? The password correct. And I enter. Oh, it's not. I think something's wrong. Oh, I see. Nothing's happening. So if you look at the log, this is new in Rails 5. That's why it's so quiet. Completed, no template found. So it render head no content, which is really crazy. Like sometimes like what? But this is a new feature in Rails. So So you want to redirect to root path with a notice. You can actually say it's a success. So success. What's that? Welcome back. Yeah. So that's the idea. If he does that now, obviously, but now he's he's in, right? So we have the user, and we just cover README. By doing this task, I just taught how to do authentication. Unfortunately, it takes a long time. Yeah. All right. So next, when you're home, you have to think about creating a message model and then all the relationship. I have some other videos in the past that I cover these areas as well, but I did not teach the authorization and authentication about cookie and all this. I hope this is useful. Now you see that you can implement each method. So far, what happened today? We learned how to do flash messages. We learned how to deal with form for, form tag, right? What else is new? And the routes, how to deal with session, how the cookie works, right? So see you on Wednesday for lab. Okay, thanks. Wow.